YouTube, happy December. So today is December 1st, and like I have said before that I was going to combine my homeschool update from October with November, and since it's the end of the month, it's the beginning of the next month, I'm going to go ahead and do that homeschool review for you of our last 2 months and explain what we liked, what we didn't like, if we changed anything, and all that stuff. So this video might get a little long, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump in, and I hope you enjoy it. Like in my last video, I started with science, so we will start with science today. We are doing the good and the beautiful. We're doing arthropods. We just finished arthropods. We finished the crustaceans. That was the last lesson of the unit, and we finished it off with a dissection of a crawfish, which was interesting. Going back a little bit, last video I had talked about we were doing bees, and we moved on from there and did butterflies. The butterfly unit was super fun. We ordered from Insect Lore and got some caterpillars in the mail, and it was quite interesting to watch how quickly they grew and see that whole process of them growing and then becoming a chrysalis and then becoming a butterfly. We really enjoyed it. I think the butterfly unit and the bees unit were our favorite, and then we ended with the crustaceans, the dissection of the crawfish, which my daughter Kylie actually really enjoyed. She thought it was very interesting, and seeing what's inside and cutting it open, and she did really like the eyeballs. For some reason she really wanted to see what the eyeball looked like, so she plucked one of those off. Gross, I know. So that was fun. The good and the beautiful science. We are done with the arthropods. We're going to move on, I believe, to marine biology. We will not start that till the beginning of the school year, the beginning of the new year in January. We only have 2 weeks right now until our next break, until Christmas break, so I thought we're just going to hold off on science and really get into it when the new year comes, so we can just stay in it and not take breaks in between. So science is good. History is going great. Last I talked, we were getting ready for a trip to Washington, D.C. That trip was so much fun. We got to visit some historical places. We got a tour of the West Wing of the White House, which was so neat. Just a very special experience to be able to do that, to be able to walk the halls of where past presidents have walked and see the Oval Office and see the meeting rooms. I think that was probably the highlight of our trip. So the whole week was just educational and fun, and something that I'd love to do again when they're a little bit older. There were some things we didn't do because I figured we hadn't gotten that far into history yet, and I just thought it'd be boring. But I know that one day we'll go back and be able to visit those other sites that we didn't get to see in October. So yes, Washington, D.C. was fun, but as for our curriculum for history, like I said before, we're doing Beautiful Feet books. We just finished Ben Franklin, and we're really getting into the Declaration of Independence and the amendments and all those things. So we will continue with that. History's going great. IEW writing, same. Nothing's changed. We really like IEW, and we're going to continue on with that. With the writing part, grammar. Let me see. I have my notes. For IEW, for the grammar side, grammar is getting a little more complicated, and I knew that this was a possibility. A lot of people had said that grammar to the Robin Hood, it does introduce more concepts of grammar, and some of it is just a little bit over my daughter's head, I think. So I've been working with her. We're still going through it. Some of it I don't quite understand. I'm not a grammar person. I know the basics, but this stuff is kind of getting a little bit more complicated, so I'm learning along with her. So as of right now, we are going to continue with the Fix-It grammar. I'm going to just help her where she needs it and just kind of tell her this is what it's telling you to do. If it continues to get too hard or challenging for her, she doesn't like it anymore, we may change. I have no idea what I would change it to. Probably I might just pick up one of those 180 days of grammar and punctuation type books. If you have a recommendation of something that I could start halfway through the year, I would greatly appreciate it, because I feel like we might get to a point where this might be too much for her. But for the most part, we're getting through it, and we're just gonna see. We're just gonna see what happens. Moving on to literature. Last I said, we were reading Charlotte's Web, and then we switched to Tale of Despereaux. We finished Tale of Despereaux. It took us a while to finish that book. I think I could have, I was having her read about a chapter a day or 2 chapters a day The chapters are really short, so I think I can get her to read 4 or 5 chapters a day, because she reads pretty fast through them, to maybe speed up the next book that we're going to start reading. So we did read Tale of Despereaux. She really liked it. We finished off the book with the movie. We ended up watching the movie. The study guide I used for Tale of Despereaux, I really, really liked it. It wasn't Memorial Press. Memorial Press was for Charlotte's Web. I cannot remember the name of it right now. I'll go ahead and link it down below if you're interested. I haven't decided what book we're gonna do yet. I have a list of them. I just have to go through and see which one would be the best fit for her right now. Literature is going great, and I will update on my next video what book we are going into next. Spelling, it's moving along. She loves the stories in the spelling book. I love that they're history stories, and sometimes when we've already read something in our history and it comes into her spelling, she gets really excited and has to tell me that, hey, we did this already. So I like that recap of what we've already read. So spelling's good. The next subject is her math. She says it's her least favorite subject. She doesn't like math. She does complain a bit now with math, but she's pretty good with it. She does like to try and get it done super quick. She sometimes misses the instructions and doesn't read them, and therefore gets something wrong. So we're working on her with that, to get her to read instruction and double check her work so that she's not making so many mistakes, because a lot of the mistakes are very tiny ones, very avoidable. She's doing them quite often, so we're working on that with her right now. Other than that, math is going great. My husband's still taking over it. I help out a little bit here and there if he's at work, but for the most part he's still taking over that, and it's going well on that side. Geography, we did change something here. So I was doing the 180 Days of Geography book. The one thing I didn't really like about it is a lot of the pages are maps, like map work, or not a whole lot of writing. And we are with a charter school, so we do have to turn in samples. And with our history is is literature based. There's no worksheets with that, so I always turn to geography to turn in worksheets. But a lot of the worksheets that I've been trying to turn in lately have not been accepted or acceptable, because there's no actual writing on it. It's just map work, if that makes sense. So I ended up buying Social Studies, the 180 Days of Social Studies book. We're still gonna continue with our history, but this is gonna cover some more history and geography and have the correct samples that I need to turn into our teacher every month. As for the book itself, the Social Studies book, I do like it. The lessons are super quick. She can do most of it by herself. It's just nice extra work to kind of supplement what we're already doing with history. A lot of it is kind of working alongside each other. We're not using the geography book anymore. We're just using the Social Studies book. As for Clara, okay, so for Clara, she is doing the Good and the Beautiful preschool book right now. Pre-K? It's the very first book. I get them confused, pre-K and there's that. Yeah, anyways, it's the very first book that the Good and Beautiful have. It's just the introduction to school. Clara's pretty much done with that. She will be done with that most likely the 1st or 2nd week of January. I already ordered her next book with the Good and the Beautiful. That's here. So when we're done with this preschool one, we're gonna move on to the, I think it's pre-K? I think it's pre-K. Or are we in pre-K? I'm so confused. But if you know the Good and the Beautiful, they have their first one and then they have the one following before the kindergarten. So that's what we're working on right now. She's been working on developing the Early Learner book, which is a set of 4 books. She finished the first book, which she was so excited about, and we've started the second book. I really love that book. I think it's great, and I love at the bottom of the page it tells you what that activity is working on, like auditory skills or motor skills or listening or something like that. That book is going to be continued until we finish all 4 books, and I believe that the way we are working, we should be on track to finish all 4 books by the end of the year. Extracurricular activities. So I did talk about it in my last video that Kylie was going to be taking a break from gymnastics for the month. She did take that break. We actually never ever signed her up for anything else. Just kind of a busy month. It just worked out perfectly to take a break from gymnastics because we were so busy. I would like her to try a dance class. She still would like to as well. So that might be something we'll do in January. Just add dance along with her gymnastics and let her just try it. So besides gymnastics and besides possible dance, she's still doing horseback, still loves that. This time of year, horseback gets canceled quite a bit because of the weather. It's too cold or too windy, and just looking out for the safety of the child and the safety of the horses, it just gets canceled a lot. So we are in that season. We've missed a couple already this month. We might miss it next week because it's possibly supposed to rain. She's doing great with horseback. Her lessons are getting a little bit more advanced. So fun. She's enjoying it immensely. So that is all I have for our homeschool update. I think I updated every subject and what we're doing on the side. I'm just ready for Christmas break. So we only have 2 more weeks. I just gotta get through 2 weeks of school. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I will have some links down below. If you have any recommendations for the grammar, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear from other homeschool moms and see what you are all using or what you have loved or what you haven't loved. So yeah, that's it. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and stay warm. I'm freezing. If you can't tell, I feel like I've been shivering throughout this whole video. I will see you next time. Have a great week and take care.